Hello friends, neighbors, John your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome down the Nook. Welcome to Saturday. Hope your Saturday is going well. Today I want to talk about 80 proof 40% bourbons. They're a thing. They're out there. Actually, there's quite a few of them. And are they any tasty? And today I've got two, I think, pretty different examples, but both maybe are chasing that 40% bourbon market. So this one's Basil Hayden Toast. I know it came up a couple years ago and nice looking bottle, had a bit of fanfare. As in keeping with who I am, I waited until it was on a nice clearance. And then this LuxRow REBEL, just sitting on the shelf, wild sale as well. But both of these bottles are, they're very different. This one's brown rice and all sorts of things, and this one's wheat, but they're both 40% and they are both bourbon. So are they any good? Why don't you pour yourself something soft, something relaxing. Don't do a cast strength puncher and think we're gonna get the same experience today. Pour something nice, one of these if you got it. Come on back. 3, 4. Thanks for coming back. As I said in the opener, we're going to talk some fairly relaxed bourbon. By that, I'm talking those 80 proof or 40% bottles. First one we're going to talk about is Basil Hayden Toast. This expression, as I kind of said in the opening, it came out a couple of years ago to a fair amount of fanfare. For a little while, it was hard to get, which was very interesting to me. But this is now not hard to get, in fact, got on clearance. This is Basil Hayden Toast. Toast comes from, it's finished in or extra aged or relaxed in a barrel that's had that toast process, that toasted barrel note. But I think what certainly makes a difference on this one is also it's brown rice instead of rye. Basil Hayden normally has really quite a high rye content, so you've got that interplay of being rather relaxed and approachable at 80 proof, but then it's got significant rye backbone. This, take out the rye and put in brown rice. So that's 63 corn, 27 brown rice, balance in barley, something very close to that. So it's relaxed at only 40%. It's had that extra toasted barrel maturing, and it has brown rice instead of rye. Does it come together at all? Let's go in on this Basil Hayden Toast. You know, it's still a bourbon. It's still got some nice oaks. It's got some cinnamons, little like toffees, some vanilla. Very much missing is that rye. It's all kinds of sweet, toasted, roasted marshmallow, oaks and cinnamons and toffees. That's the nose. Pretty easy to go in. Let's try it on the palate. Cheers. That's a sweet bourbon. If you like sweetness, honeys and brown sugars, lighter sugars, light brown sugars, there's a little bit of spice. You know, there is. You know, of course we're missing that rye backbone and that nice, almost grassy spice, but it's got some. It's got a little bit of cinnamons, a little bit of peppers. They're just pretty relaxed. Better try another sip. Cheers. Very sweet and light. Very, very vanilla. Light caramels. Toasted marshmallow. There's some oaks, there's some cinnamon, there's some spice. Just not a lot. This is a very approachable bourbon. I haven't had the pleasure of pouring a flight for new whiskey drinkers in a while. But when I do, and I pour them like all over the place, right? Bourbons, Canadians, Scotches, wherever. And they tend to end up liking Irish because it's so light. From a bourbon point of view, this is very, very light and would have appeal to people who like those sweet desserts, nice, approachable. I think Mash and Drum, when I saw it a couple years ago, said you could drink it all day long or something like that. And I think what he was saying is like this would be easy to pour with friends, and I don't think it would offend. It's quite sweet and approachable. You know, it's quite nice. It just isn't that hug and that, you know, Kentucky hug or burn or even a palate filler. It's a little thin. It tastes a little thin, a little. Like, I know it's brown rice, but a little white rice, you know? Like, just not enough character for me. Certainly happy that I got it on 137 is clearing out because they're selling, I guess. They're closing down. And so I got this on a fantastic sale. And it's a pretty bottle, an easy sipper, and not bad. If I was trying to give it a star rating, it's probably 3.5. Not great, but it's okay. Okay, now where this 40%er is brown rice, this one from LuxRow, 40% as well, is a wheater. It doesn't tell me the percent of wheat, but what I'm going with that is, you know, we've got our corn, but now wheat, and then a little bit of barley or malted barley to kick it around. So there is also no rye in this, which may in some ways be similar to what Toast is going after. I don't know the casking on this, so I just assume it's charred New American oak. I don't know what char LuxRow uses, and I think they've been distilling since 2015 now. I know they sourced all their stuff forever. But I think they released their own stuff, certainly on their entrance bottle. And just as I got this on 137 for, I don't know, 40 bucks, 40 something, I got this in that place whose name again escapes me, right beside the Italian Market by West Edmonton Mall. And I think it was $24 Canadian. So like this is like, what is that? $15, $18 American. This I probably got for about 30 bucks American, something around that, 35. So, both of them are values today. Normally, though, this one's priced quite a bit higher. And I think this LuxRow is really going for more of a value market. Let's try it on the nose. Boy, yeah, I guess the wheat is speaking. It's a little soured fruit, but still vanilla and caramel. This is a nicer nose. This is richer, even though I talked about how light it is. This is a little, yeah, a little sour cherry, little bit of. I mean, there's quite a bit of vanilla, but I'm not even getting as much oak. Definitely not getting as much oak. I think that's probably what I'm missing on the nose. Let's try it on the palate. Cheers. Okay, I'm gonna say I've got a little bit of cherry. I didn't get any cherry on this one. I've got some. Similar spice palette. This is a little bit richer. I've got a little bit of light peppering, and now of course I can play around. Oh yeah, there's that new oak, right? It's a bourbon. It's got that new oak in it, so it's got some of that now on the finish, the early finish, and in the palate, a little bit of char, a little bit of again caramels, not as rich as this one. Better try another sip. Cheers. You know, I don't recall struggling with flavor notes. I've obviously had this bottle for a bit, and it's actually gone fairly quickly. There, I've got a bit of spice now. Yeah, there, really had to play with it a bit or chew on it. This is light. A little bit alcoholic, tastes younger. Now I've got even some peppering. So there you go. There, now I've got a little bit of heat, a little bit of kick, a little bit of oak and char and light sugar. There's some vanilla. I'm gonna go cherry. The note of fruit on here is cherry. I was not getting that over here. So it's got a little bit of that, which is nice. Easy drinking, but a little bit easy alcohol. Like I don't know how it would hold up in a cocktail, but if you're looking for a light bourbon cocktail, I think the alcoholic notes that I'm getting on here, you know, would be hidden by the lovely mixing that you're doing. If I was going to sit down and just sip these, like sippers, not mixers of any kind, I actually would give it to the Basil Hayden. I know it gets beat up a lot, but there's flavors in here. It's light, it's easy, it's all those things, but there are different layers of flavor that are more interesting than this Rebel. I get why this Rebel was 24 bucks Canadian, and at 24 bucks I'd buy it again. It's it mixes, I'm sure, okay, and it's an easy pour, but you know, I might not buy it again. Not because it's bad. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. 3 1/4 fine bourbon. Sorry, guys. Obviously not even enough character in here. This, I was thinking, didn't have enough character, but given the bottle and given some of the flavors in direct comparison, I gotta go this way. Thanks for tuning in. You know, I went away entirely from 80 proof for 40% bourbons. Like, wouldn't even touch them. But I have had like the regular old Grandad and what's another one? Wild Turkey 81. Now, I prefer Wild Turkey 101. I prefer Old Grandad, at least bottle and bond. I absolutely find more flavors and more character. But sometimes I want to have a whiskey and I hardly want to feel it. I just want to taste it a little bit. And sometimes I have a lot of cask strength bourbons that I'll pour a little dram and go, oh, shoot, that's not how I want it to feel. I wanted to taste it, but it was a little strong. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you ever now and then turn to an 80 proofer or 40%, or do you just leave that category alone? Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend.